Hello, hello. If you're like me, you also kind of hate it when YouTubers apologize for not creating content. Whenever I see somebody doing that, I'm like, you don't owe me anything. I just like when you make stuff. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you kind of feel the same way. So I won't necessarily apologize for it, but I will catch you up on why I haven't been creating content consistently. Last year, in an effort to, in an effort to make myself accountable, in an effort to give myself something to do every day, I challenged myself to make at least 3 videos a week. My goal was always 5 videos a week, but I would cut myself some slack if it was only 3 or whatever, but at least like weekly content. And I even tried to do that by giving myself themes, daily themes, which I really miss. I really wish that I had the physical stamina to keep a routine like that up, because I do have the creativity to like create all the time, but I just don't have it physically in me because of my chronic illnesses to be making all the time, to be creating all the time. That's the better word. Even now as I speak, you can kind of hear my labored breathing. It sucks. Basically what happens is I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things that I want to say. I have a lot of things that I want to create. But what's been happening for the most part is that my illness gets in the way now. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm not generally medicated except for dire emergency cases. I don't really have any treatment, minus the fact that I go to my cousin's pool to do some exercise about once a week. That's it. That's all I'm really doing for my pain levels, my hypermobility, my chronic fatigue, my brain fog. So that's not a lot. And I'm not doing a great job at managing all of that. If I were to try and explain what my days look like, there are some days where I can't really tell you what it looks like aside from me losing the entire day because I slept through it. There are days when I sleep the whole way through, like 16 hours of sleep. And obviously that's not by choice. Like my eyes roll into the back of my head and I can't get up. Like a family member will shake me and I won't wake up. And that's not something that used to happen. That's something that's kind of new. There are days when my pain levels are too high that I can't even sit up. So I'm like flat Sleeping Beauty status. Like I just have to lay in bed because sitting down hurts. I don't generally like using my wheelchair inside the house. I will if I absolutely have to. But for the most part, I like to, keep using my legs even though it hurts. But there are some days where the pain level's too high and I can't even stand up, like for a second, without the pain levels being too much. So on these days, as much as internally I would love to create something, I just don't have the physical ability to. I just talked about this a little bit on Twitter, but when I can't, oh God, do I get emotional? Girl, keep it together. Right, so it sucks. It's a sucky feeling to have so much drive inside of me, so many things that I want to do, and then it literally feels like an elephant is sitting on top of my chest. Like I just can't move out of my bed, and I'm just sinking deep into it. Particularly this feeling, when I, fall into my, like, sleeping disorder, whatever it is that's going on there. And I don't really know how to manage that. And this is a bad health spell. I've felt better. But the summertime has been hard, and there's been a lot of, like, mental health triggers, too. Oh God, especially with, like, the battle for healthcare that's been going on. The 1-year anniversary of Pulse and the 1-year anniversary of the Sagamihara massacre and all that really triggered my depression. The isolation has triggered my depersonalization, and then also the lack of being able to create. It's just like a cycle. It's just like my physical health sucks. I can't create anything. My mental health suffers. And then we start over again. And then it just happens all over again. Kind of feels like a cycle, but it's kind of stops at mental health. It's just a restart. So, I'm not sure if, how some people, they think, like, this year sucks, and when New Year comes, then things are going to change and things are going to get better. That's kind of the way I'm thinking right now. I'm like, maybe it's just the summer has been sucky on my mental health and triggering my physical health to not be good either. I don't know how that cycle works. And maybe when fall comes, I'll see some kind of improvement. I hope so. It's been really tough to kind of figure out what the line is. Because I feel like last year, trying to do 5 videos a day, I was pushing myself so hard. Like, even on days where I felt bad, I would create something. But in doing so, I wasn't always creating work that I was proud of. And I felt kind of rushed into creating something that I knew could be better if I had just taken my time with it. But having that kind of momentum felt like the only way to get things done. And then, I kind of found a mentality like, you're sick. You deserve to rest. And just be sick. Just be in bed. Just try and not stress yourself out about what you should be doing, because what you should be doing is trying to get better. So I don't know if I don't know. Hearing myself, I know what the answer is. I know that the key is to find a balance with accountability and work, and then also finding time to let myself be sick, to relax in those symptoms and not stress myself out about what I should be doing. But that balance is really difficult to find. Like I said, I thought that the only answer, it's like I'm just really struggling with that. It feels like it has to be one way or another. Because with chronic illness, I'm sick every day. If you are a non-sick person, a non-chronically ill person, then when you get the flu or a cold, you take the day off of work, because how are you supposed to work when you have a flu or a fever, or you get severely injured and you have to go to the ER, right? How do you perform your best when you're not feeling well? But for me, that's every day. For me, I'm injured, sick on a daily basis. Particularly the hard ones are when I can't wake up. So when you're sick every day, how do you decide when to push and when to rest? I'm trying to figure that out. What I can try and say moving forward is that I don't have the money, the access to get professional help regarding my treatment. And so a lot of it's kind of DIY, do it yourself. So if that's what I got, that's what I got. And I'm going to try and figure out as best I can how I can manage all of this. God. And don't feel like my life is totally miserable and awful. I mean, that part sucks, but I have a lot to be grateful for. A lot to be grateful for. Not to mention this roof above my head, food in the fridge, and people who care a whole lot about me. I have so much to be grateful for. But I gotta admit that being sick and generally isolated and not having access to the best treatment possible, or any treatment at all, if I'm being honest, that is hard. And there's part of me that's glad that I'm going through it, otherwise I wouldn't know how serious that is and how many people are in the same position. So, if you're in the same position, you're certainly not alone. I know that sucks, but we're in this together. And hopefully we can learn to find a balance and get our voices out there and do the work that we want to and need to. For us. Not necessarily for other people or for capitalism or consumerism, but because we want to do it, or because we need to do it to survive. Do it for ourselves. That's it. Alright. Fingers crossed I can get you a new video sooner rather than later. And I will see you eventually.